And welcome to the Ukrainian capital. Hardly a day goes by without a European leader arriving here in Kiev to show a very public display of support for Ukraine, and in particular for its beleaguered President Volodymyr Zelensky. Today is the turn of the Polish and the Lithuanian presidents, and President Zelensky used this as an opportunity to underline again that this growing crisis was not just about Ukraine. He's made it clear that this was where the future of European security would be decided. Well, the future of Ukraine is again being emphasized by President Putin of Moscow today. In a speech marking the defense of the Fatherland Day, he repeated again that for Russia, Ukraine, he said, was not a country, a different country. He said it is an inalienable part of Russia's cultural, spiritual and political space. It is this kind of rising rhetoric and the moves on the ground which are creating more anxiety here and preparations for a possible escalation on the military front. Evacuees are also leaving those areas of the Donbass, eastern Ukraine, where the Russian Federation recognized them as independent. Our correspondent Caroline Davies reports now from Rostov-on-Don.
Young voices singing old melodies, a song from the Second World War on a public holiday in honour of the armed forces. In Rostov-on-Don, close to the border with Ukraine, there are different views on what's happening less than 100 kilometres away. Of course it's scary, Tatiana tells me, but what can we do? We can do nothing. Alexander served in the Russian fleet. Ukraine will stop shelling, he says, and if they will not, as they said on TV, we will send in troops. There was flower laying in Moscow. President Putin inspected the troops, but what he intends to do with them is still unclear.
First, I didn't say that the troops will go straight there after our meeting here. Second, it is generally not possible to predict possible actions. It depends on the specific situations that develop on the ground.
In Ukraine's trenches, they wait for Moscow's next move. The Russian president may not have announced that troops have entered Ukraine, but his decision to recognise the separatist-held areas has already had consequences worldwide. Sanctions from the US, the UK and Europe were followed by others around the world.
Australians always stand up to bullies, and we will be standing up to Russia, along with all of our partners, like-mindeds, and all of those who believe that it is absolutely unacceptable that Russia could invade its neighbour.
Back at the border, the evacuation buses continue from the rebel-held areas. These tents have been erected in the course of the last few days by the Russian Ministry of the Emergency for the evacuees that are coming through here. This tent says that it's for mothers and children, and here they're preparing for more evacuees to come through too. Filling out paperwork, recent arrivals from the separatist-held areas were feeling emotional about President Putin's decision to recognise the areas they live in as independent. 74-year-old Luba tells me that she's been waiting since the first day of the war for this decision. How long can you hide in your basement from shelling, she says.
We hope that things will settle down and there is no more war.
Would you want to be part of Russia?
Of course, we would like it, because we love Russia.
The Russian president has promised that this is a step towards peace. Around the world, there are serious concerns that he has something else in mind.
The world is watching as this crisis between Ukraine and Russia intensifies. It is a crisis which crosses borders. And today, when President Zelensky appeared with the presidents of Poland and Lithuania, he welcomed European sanctions and sanctions from other Western countries, and also condemned again Russia's recognition of the two republics in eastern Ukraine.
We are unanimous in assessment of these crimes of the Russian Federation. This is another yet act of aggression against Ukraine, its sovereignty, our territorial integrity. The presence the military presence of the Russian Federation on the occupied territory of Donbass has been hiding behind separatist uniform, and now we see that this is a unilateral departure from Minsk agreement.
Condemnation of the moves taken so far by Russia, and the question still hangs in the air. Will Russia act on that declaration, saying it now had the right to move more troops, more heavy equipment into those areas of eastern Ukraine, if not even farther? The entire neighbourhood is watching. Earlier I spoke to Sweden's Defence Minister, Peter Hultqvist, and asked how it looked from Stockholm.
I think that Russia, with the background that they've in consequence built up their military capability for so many years, and also during all these years we've been very critical to Ukraine, and Putin has also said that this is a part of Russia. I think that they mean something with this, and I think that we can expect that they will do more in this situation. And there is different scenarios that there are speculations around. I cannot say what will happen, but I don't think that this is enough. So I think we will see more in the future.
You have even been quoted as saying that an attack on Sweden cannot be ruled out. Do you really think he would go that Russia would go that far?
We have said that in a decision in the parliament, in a governmental bill to the parliament. We have said that we cannot exclude an attack to Sweden from Russia. That is not the same as we have an immediate threat to Sweden, but we see it as something that maybe could happen. And we have said also, because of the new security situation, we must invest a lot of money to increase our national military capability. So between 2014 until 2025, we increased the budget with 80%. At the same time, we are deepening our defense cooperation with other countries. So since 2014, we have made around 20 agreements with other countries of different sort of defense cooperation.
You're not a member of NATO now, but does this current crisis make you think again?
I think that we have a good platform as one military aligned nation together with Finland, and our deepest cooperation we have with Finland. We have developed operational planning beyond peace with Finland. So we have a war and crisis perspective in our planning. Then we are also a member of the partnership to NATO, and we work a lot with NATO in that partnership, and we participate a lot of exercises, and we have a high level of information sharing, and we are an active part in a security puzzle in our part of Europe.
Sweden's defence minister underlining again the military preparedness that goes right across this region, and of course the extra military support being given to the Ukrainian forces. It's moving now in parallel with those sanctions being imposed in Western capitals around the world. Russia has condemned both. Well, a short time ago, I spoke to Evgeny Popov. He's a member of the ruling United Russia Party. He also is a very prominent talk show host. And I asked him about the sanctions and what was Russia's end game.
It's going to be so painful, sanctions which cause Nord Stream 2, but personal sanctions are pretty funny against me, against other MPs, against any government. If we're talking about security, Putin, State Duma, Senate recognized Donetsk and Lugansk People's Republics. Now those republics are under our protection, but no Russian military in Donbass right now. Putin has a right to invade Donbass, Donetsk, and Lugansk, but he didn't do it yet. It's a strong but simple message to Kyiv. Stop shelling Donbass people by Ukrainian artillery. They are doing that every given day. People are dying in Donetsk and Lugansk every given day. Now we can help.
As you know, yes, as you know, that's being denied by Ukrainian forces
I know, of course.
who are
I know,
observing
of
the
course.
ceasefire. They say they have not opened fire.
Of course, I know that, but we have a lot of tons of evidences that people are dying. People are dying right now in Donetsk and Lugansk. It's a simple message. If you are not going to stop shelling, Russian military will help Donetsk and Lugansk military to stop Ukrainian aggression. That's it. That's it. But again, right now, there is no Russian military in Donetsk and Lugansk.
Evgeny Popov underlining that not yet has Russia moved forces into the Donbass, but that statement that he signed a few nights ago, recognizing those two republics, the Donetsk and Luhansk, authorizes the Russian army to move more in when the moment comes. President Putin has said he's not going to move now, keeping everyone guessing.